What's up, guys? That Really Goes Guy here, and we are back with Warframe. But today I want to talk about something that has been on people's mind recently, and it has been something that's been batted around the forums and the community for quite a while, and there are some frustrations and all sorts of controversy that goes around, and in the forums especially, and in the community, like I said, around Umbra Excalibur. We're going to talk about Umbra Excalibur just a little bit here, and I want to kind of hit on a few key points that I feel like people, for whatever reason, are just blatantly ignoring, or they just like to create that extra bit of controversy, and I just don't really see the need for it. But we're gonna try, and obviously I don't know 100% sure all the details and all that stuff, because Digital Extremes is keeping this very hush-hush, and for a pretty good reason. I feel like they don't necessarily have to give any real big details out, and I actually think they shouldn't. The only reason why we even know Umbra Excalibur is even a thing is because it was released in the Chinese version of Warframe. And honestly, I don't think DE was even prepared to blatantly come out and tell us what Umbra was, or even if they had plans to expand on Umbra and his lore. I felt like they released him as a really cool cosmetic thing, and that was it for the Chinese version. But they decided at this point, we really should do something with this. It's a good opportunity to do something with Umbra Excalibur. So I want to talk about, like I said, some things regarding Umbra Excalibur, and the big thing I want to talk about for this video is what I actually want Umbra Excalibur to be, or maybe a little bit of food for thought when it comes to Umbra Excalibur's abilities, or something to make him that much more special as an Umbra frame. Now, personally, I would love to see like a complete overhaul to Excalibur and his abilities. And one thing that I want to show is a ability that I would love to see on Umbra. And to show an example of this, I'm actually going to be playing a game called Devil May Cry, and we're going to talk about one of the abilities that you will see here in just a second. So I would love to see, now I don't know if I wanted to use this as like Umbra Excalibur's passive ability, but I would love to see, as you can see, the character splits here, and he has his own doppelganger, similar to like Mirage, his like shadow, and this shadow will actually act independently, but at the same time kind of copies the weapon attacks and whatnot of your main character. Now, I would love to see maybe Umbra Excalibur's passive be this secondary shadow that Umbra has. So let's say every time Excalibur uses an ability, he has basically a doppelganger, a shadow image of himself that follows the same attack pattern or uses the same skill, just almost like a mirror as Excalibur. So as you saw in that beginning footage, I was able to summon a shadow. Every time I took a swipe with my blade, so did my shadow. Now he followed me precisely with the strikes that I had. And this footage you are now seeing, I'm doing in kind of a practice area, and this is going to be basically a good example of the character being able to act and this doppelganger being able to act in tandem with the character. Now, like I said, it would be cool to see a passive of Excalibur's to, at least every time he uses an ability, he has kind of the shadow that, because Umbra, if you don't know, literally means darkness or shadow. If you look at it in astrology, it's basically the shadow cast behind an object, such as when the sun shines on the moon or a planet. The darkness, the shadow that is literally cast directly behind the planet is called an umbra. But anyways, with that said, it just makes sense. Shadow, Umbra, this Excalibur, basically his name is Shadow Excalibur. I guess it's as close to Stalker as you can get. Very edgy, but I would love to see this shadow cast off of Excalibur be represented by, let's say, this separate entity, this literal doppelganger slash shadow of Excalibur that actually can aid us in all of our fights. Now, one downside to this being just a passive is if Excalibur keeps all of his current powers, which I really hope he doesn't, to be honest, when it comes to Umbra Excalibur. I would love to see a whole new set of powers, but if it does keep the same powers itself, we are going to see this doppelganger really only work with his slash dash as well as maybe his exalted blade. Now, honestly, this might be way too overpowered if his exalted blade literally does double of everything because of a doppelganger by its side. So I don't know how you feel about that. Maybe instead of it being a passive, this doppelganger could be its own ability. But at the same time, I really want to point out that I don't want this to feel like Mirage. I don't want this to feel like her doppelganger ability. I don't want this to feel like another Spectre or, you know, a little minion Pokeball thing you throw out. I don't want it to feel like that. I want it to feel unique and true to itself. I feel like a way that could be achieved, which is actually probably really difficult to probably incorporate in the game, but then again, they do kind of, like I said, kind of have the Spectre thing going, and the AI might be smart enough to do this. But in the game Devil May Cry, you see that you can either kind of switch the moveset to your doppelganger to be a different moveset, so that when you are, let's say, doing quick strikes, it would be doing more power strikes. So you can kind of use that in tandem to fight the way you kind of want to, a little bit differently. And at the same time, you could also delay your doppelganger's attack so that when you swipe, he swipes within like another half a second. Or let's say you do a 3-move combo, he follows up after your last strike with the same 3-move combo. Or if you have his move set switched up, he follows up on a delay with a different combo set. And that might actually be really, really good for you know, a doppelganger like shadowy version for our Umbra Excalibur. Now, maybe I'm asking for a little bit too much. As far as I know, DE might just completely keep the powers the same. I don't know if the Chinese version of Excalibur, the Umbra Excalibur in the Chinese game, has any different abilities. I don't think it does. But personally, I feel like it's going to be a missed opportunity if they just copy and paste everything that Excalibur or Excalibur Prime is and tag them and paste them onto this Umbra Excalibur. I want to see this thing uniquely different. I want to see this thing like so incredibly worth going out of your way to get. And I feel like because DE is going to make a whole bunch of lore and a whole bunch of, you know, story, probably quests that have to do with Umbra frames, because we have heard that they are going to continue the Umbra theme in the future. I would love to see them be incredibly unique, but at the same time still have a feel of the initial frame itself. So obviously we have the prime frames, the original prime frames, however you want to view them. I want to see these Umbras be this iteration, maybe this dark iteration or something to these frames, and I want them to be something different, and I think we all do. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of changes I would want to make to Excalibur's other powers. If Excalibur's passive was this doppelganger ability, whether he uses this doppelganger only during abilities, or maybe every time Excalibur uses any type of melee attack, this doppelganger would be there. I think that would be awesome. Like I said, that might be a little bit too much. That might be too overpowering. I don't know. I definitely want to know your opinions. At the same time, when it comes to these new abilities, what do you think? What would replace Radial Javelin that would work with this doppelganger? Or maybe you have your own opinion on what Excalibur, Umbra Excalibur, whatever, should be. What would you do to Umbra Excalibur when it comes to... Would you change anything? First of all, would you change anything when it comes to Umbra Excalibur? And like I said, at the same time, if you did, what kind of changes would you want to make? And I'm looking for more than just, oh, I want to see him have a billion health and a billion energy and all sorts of blah 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 blah. I want to know realistically, what changes do you think Umbra should have? What kind of unique powers maybe should these Umbra frames have? Because like I said, this is gonna pave the way for every Umbra Excalibur, every Umbra frame in the future to do a thing. If Umbra Excalibur is going to be just a copy, then you know that Rhino Umbra is going to be a copy, and Mag Umbra is going to be a copy, and every Umbra is just going to be a copy. I want to see something unique. I want to see something that, even if it doesn't completely change the frame, I want to see a passive or a boosted ability that makes it so that this frame has a reason to be called an Umbra frame. And every Umbra frame from now on has a reason to be considered an Umbra frame. So, not just because the story says this one's paint job is darker than this one. Who cares? I'm not, that doesn't do it for me. So, I don't know if DE will ever see this. It would be awesome if maybe they took some of this advice, or I would love to honestly maybe talk it over with them. But man, I would just love to see something unique and a great feel. And this is just my idea for how I would like Umbra to be. But like I said, let me know how you guys feel. There's just plenty of I feel like there's a decent amount of example in this video for you guys to kind of check out what I'm getting at. This Excalibur gameplay was really just to kind of fit the theme and just play with. It's a darker color, a little bit edgy. Not a build that I even slightly consider to be a decent build, so forgive me with that. But just keep in mind that there has been a lot of Umbra's not even a thing. It's fake, it's garbage, it's never happening. Just keep in mind that there are a lot of people that I've seen fake Umbra videos where people are just retexturing different colors on their Excalibur Primes or their deluxe colored Excaliburs, or they're playing it on console so that they have their unique, like the Xbox skin or the Renown skin or whatever, and they're trying to pass it off as an Umbra frame, and oh, I got it, this blah 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 blah. And I just want to be real with you guys. This is not Umbra. This is just a painted Mordred helmet, I think that's what it's called, and a deluxe skin or something with these, with whatever. So I just did it for view's sake so that you guys can see, a general idea of a darker, edgier frame while we talk about this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, let me know, because I am super intrigued in Umbra and what you guys think. I would love to see, this is kind of just something I did at the very end, is imagine your frame is here on the left, and you can swap your frame over to the right, so you go back and forth. So that's your regular frame and shadow frame, regular frame, shadow frame. So imagine if they're both there, shadow frame, regular frame, both there at the same time, doing your melees, doing your attacks. I think that'd be pretty sick. But yeah, in the comments below, please let me know what you think. What would you like Umbra Excalibur to be? And be constructive. Keep in mind that we're not going to have 10,000 power strength and going to incinerate everybody when we walk by them. We keep it within reason. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was a video I wanted to do for a very, very long time, and it is finally here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, guys. Blow.